Ever since throwing the chess world into chaos with the cheating scandal and the following lawsuit, Hans Niemann has been pretty quiet. We do not know much about Hans Niemann, right? The last event in the whole timeline was on 21st October, where Hans sued Carlson and co. for $100 million. After that, it has been a period of relative quiet from all the parties involved. Probably they're preparing for the legal battle ahead. Hans Niemann actually is playing at a tournament. This is where he is. He's playing in St. Louis Chess Club, and he's playing in a tournament called the Fall Chess Classic, where there are top players from the world, and it's a very strong tournament. This is from round seven game against Vidit, which ended in a draw. So Hans has been doing quite well in the tournament, and he got fourth after 9 rounds. It's a single round robin tournament. It was won by Yu Yangi, and Hans had only one victory in the whole tournament. All the remaining games were draws. The one victory of Hans came in the ninth round, the penultimate round. Yu Yangi was the champion. He won the tournament with a score of 5 out of 9. Let me take you through the sole victory of Hans Niemann. This was against Ilya at 2,687 player, and this was the only victory Hans had in the whole tournament. This is a very nice game by him and an interesting opening as well. So let me take you through the game quickly. Hans was black, e4 c5, the Sicilian, and we have the main line, and soon we have the Sveshnikov variation, one of Kasparov's favorite lines in the Sicilian. Pawn b5, knight d5, bishop e7, takes. So one of the main things for white here is that the strong hold on d5 square. Hans plays castles, knight c2, rook b8, preparing b4 and a5, a4 by white. This is slightly a not so normal move. Hans takes it. And here knight b4, takes, and bishop b7. So Hans is saying, I've taken the pawn, you can take it back. Right? You can take back the pawn, and you can even take the a6 pawn, which is right now hanging. So the white player would be happy about this, right? But he is slightly underdeveloped. So Ilya played knight takes a6, rook a8, queen takes. So he's right now a pawn up. So white thought he's fine. He has a passed pawn, connected pawns. The development issue can be solved. Just bishop into castles, right? So right now he is a pawn up, but there's a pin on this knight. So it's very risky to play like this with white. Lot of risk for just one pawn. And black has the two bishops. Hans is enjoying a very nice diagonal for this bishop, and he's preparing d5. So Hans plays d5 immediately. Queen b5, attacking the bishop. Queen e7, defending it and completing the development. Bishop e2, getting ready to castle. So Ilya is saying, you can take back the pawn. You can take back the pawn, just let me castle. So Hans plays rook a7, a very nice move, preparing to double the rooks on the a file and giving extra support to the bishop. Rook a3, removing the pin on the rook. Pawn takes, and now castles. So material is equal, but the benefits of the position is all with Hans. The bishop pair, the active pieces, and a slight pin on this rook. Because if knight moves, rook takes, pawn takes, queen takes can happen, but not if knight c5 or knight c4, knight b4. But okay, it's a very nice position for black. And he continues to build his advantage with e3. f3 was chosen by Ilya. The best move here would have been just to take. You can understand why he didn't want to take, because takes bishop g5, and it would again be a nice bishop and more problems. But at least white will have an active rook on the f file. So he went for f3 and now e4. The problem here is this pawn is passed. It can be a weakness or it can be an advantage. In this game, Hans uses the pawn and becomes an advantage. So e4, opening up the bishop even more, takes, queen takes, threatening mate. But of course, bishop f3 and queen e7. Just came back, made the bishop come to f3. And now queen e2, stopping the e pawn. But then bishop takes, and rook e8. So this pawn is now a very nice protected pawn by the two pieces. And if one of these three pieces gets to d2, it's going to be all over. And white's knight is so far out of play. So rook a1, queen d6, getting ready for queen d2. White plays rook f5, and here comes the queen. So the position is totally winning now for Hans. Queen d2. Queen takes, pawn takes would allow rook e1 quickly, right? It would just be terrible. The main problem here is a knight that's so far out of play. King f1 was played, and here Hans played the last move of the game, after which Ilya resigned. Hans played rook takes knight, a brilliant move. So basically, what is the continuation? If rook takes rook, there is queen c1, and it's just going to be mate. Queen e1. So, for example, rook takes rook, queen c1, queen e1, and now e2 comes. And if king f2, queen e3 is mate. If king moves, queen takes queen is going to be mate. So that is why after rook takes a6, Ilya resigned and Hans won. So this game was very important for Hans's fourth place in the tournament. So that's what he's doing. The tournament has just ended, and let's see what Hans does to the chess world in the coming days. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like the video and please subscribe to my channel for more such content.